Nobody expected it, but Porsche CEO Oliver Bloom decided to completely stop the production of electric vehicles. How does a company considered to have invested in luxury electric cars decide to switch its position in the market? The decisions left many analysts and enthusiasts scratching their head, and as this domino effect plays across the industry, it sets new shapes none could have imagined. Porsche's electric future appeared practically inevitable, especially with the help of Taycan. So why would they back out from EVs when the world is moving towards the path of electric-powered vehicles? As with many things in life, the answer appears to not just be one thing, but of history, rivalry, and the often delicate issue of tradition with modernity. When unveiled as Porsche's first fully electric sports car, the Taycan was not just a car for people to start transitioning from gas-powered vehicles. It was much bigger than that. The Taycan was Porsche's statement to the automotive world that the company is ready to embrace the future while at the same time not forgetting what made Porsche great in the first place. Many were happy to find out that Porsche still can build a car that provides the driving pleasure normally associated with the brand, where there's no sound of a petrol engine in the background. In many regards, the Taycan wasn't merely a car. It was how the past connected to the future. It directly rivals Tesla's Model S and Mercedes-Benz's EQS to show that luxurious and high-speed electric cars are not a myth or impossible. For a moment there, it was as if Porsche had found the formula for luxury EVs and the power of great innovation in harmony with the great tradition of the company. But what could have possibly motivated Porsche to wave goodbye to a vehicle that the company's fans loved so much and was all set to dominate the market in luxury electric cars? At the heart of Porsche's decision lies a delicate balancing act, that is, retaining its position as a performance-oriented and tradition-embracing car company and entering the new epoch of electrification. The lineup of cars with typical combustion engines, like the Porsche 911, unites the brand very closely. They all know the hum of the engine. They all know the handling that only a Porsche can give out. But the 911 in particular is nearly immune to criticism on this score due to its near cult-like customer base, which appreciates originality but also tradition. Porsche's dilemma is one that many traditional automakers face: a guide on how to adapt to the market while preserving revenue stream from the initial customers. But while electrification is a worldwide phenomenon, it may seem like an attack on that tradition. The sound of an electric motor, no matter how high RPM it'll produce and how modern the car is, lacks the feel that Porsche stands for. And it may not come as much of a shock that Porsche would tread lightly toward a total embrace of EVs. Nonetheless, the Taycan's been receiving relatively good reviews. However, it's also possible that the brand doesn't want to fully commit to electrification, as this may strip away what defines a Porsche. Identity is not the only recipe for success. The truth is that electric vehicles cost a lot to manufacture, a lot more than people's imagination could think. An electric car is a complex product that implies high investments in technology, supply chains, and human capital, which traditional cars don't require to the same degree. The battery alone constitutes a major expense, and modifications are needed in manufacturing facilities and structures to accommodate electric vehicles. In addition, the recently experienced global semiconductor shortage has also affected the automakers, limiting the production timelines and raising general costs. Car manufacturers, including Porsche, have been challenged with demand factors about supply chain challenges to their electric models. Perhaps the skyrocketing costs of EV production, accompanied by persistent supply constraints, shifted the focus of Porsche to consider that their money would be wiser spent otherwise. During its growth, even a brand as strong as Porsche was faced with the problem of its allocation of funds. In this case, that might be doubling down on what they know best: automotive gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles. Porsche's decision to stop making electric cars could have several implications and tremendous impacts on Porsche as well as the entire luxury electric cars industry. Porsche, Tesla, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz were, for some time, considered among the main pioneers of the business. Porsche's decision to exit the EV race means that the market is now vacant and ready to be conquered by its competitors. Tesla, especially, has a lot to gain from this change of strategy. It's important to recall that for years, the Model S was the embodiment of the luxury electric vehicle, and having Porsche out of the picture might have Tesla even more unchallengeable in the field. The same applies to Mercedes-Benz, which has been actively broadening its electric portfolio, with cars like the EQS and EQE. Audi, too, has invested hugely in its electric cars and could seize the opportunity to attract Porsche's would-be customers. The luxury EV market is still small and growing swiftly, particularly in the Chinese and European markets, where governments are still providing incentives in efforts to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. Because Porsche has slowed down its pace, there's a tendency for the competitors to grab this opportunity to take a larger share of the market. This move also raises some questions as to how consumers will behave after Porsche's contradictory strategic move. Of course, electric cars have started picking up pace over the past few years, but are premium consumers now willing to jump into the EV bandwagon completely? Porsche's decision may possibly indicate that the focus market, or perhaps for automotive buyers in general, the answer is not yet definitive. This would mean that some of the high-end consumers are not just buying a car for the technology it holds, but for the sound it produces and the brand name it carries. Maybe Porsche decided that their clients aren't united in the adoration of electric luxury and the spirit of legendary cars with stunning power and the sound of the combustion motors. This might also mean that luxury buyers in general might be more reluctant, and other brands might have to deal with this as well. There's another dimension to this decision which brought pressure on automobile manufacturers to meet environmental standards and sustainability. Across the globe, governments are coming up with measures that seek to lower carbon emissions, with electric vehicles being considered as a way forward. There's variation in the degree of adoption of electric vehicles, where countries like Norway have already adopted EVs at a very high level, while other countries are also setting up their targets in this regard. Porsche's withdrawal from electric cars could place it in a different direction. It will be seen that by moving out of the EV industry, Porsche may lose out on environmentally conscious consumers and get left behind with increasingly strict rules. The high-end cars segment has many issues on the way to electrification. They can't remain unaffected by these trends, and competitors are guaranteed to take this opportunity to present themselves as leaders in this area. Ultimately, the decision made by Porsche to pull out of electric cars is a risk, an approach that relies on the chances of the future of automobiles. What's worrisome, though, is that while the brand is betting on its lineage and sports car identity, it's shying away from the future mobility innovation that will define the next evolutionary step for car ownership. They claim that with further development of electric cars, with features such as autonomous driving and connectivity being incorporated into them, Porsche is set to lose out in the market. We appreciate you watching the video. Be sure to give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great content like this. And we'll see you in the next one.